Namaste yogis, welcome to your practice. This is Stephen from YogaWorks, and this practice is called Calm and Steady. What we're going to do today is have a look at some yoga poses, most of which you will definitely know, but we're going to be modifying them to add an extra element of strength and stability, which is going to enhance the feeling of grounding that we get. It's going to make you feel a little bit more confident and a bit more strong in your movements. And that is the goal of this class. So to start with, let's come into child's pose. And just reach your hands forward, but just relax down and take a moment to arrive for your practice. For now, just let everything rest down on the mat. Your hips feel heavy towards the heels. And if it feels like your head can't quite touch down comfortably, or your hips are lifting too high off your heels, then just raise the head a bit by putting your fists underneath. Couple of breaths here just to see what you brought to your practice today. How does your body feel? How is the breath flowing through your upper body? And what is your mental state at the beginning of your practice? And then we're going to make the pose a little bit more active, so just slide your hands slightly further forward. You can keep the forehead down or lift it up if you need to, it's okay. And then press the hands down from the shoulder joints. So straighten the arms, lift the forearms a bit, press the hands down, almost like you're in down dog, but the rest of the body is still in child's pose. Now we've introduced a bit more of a stretch in the shoulders, maybe the upper back, maybe the chest, whatever you feel. We've added an element of strength and stability to this child's pose, which can be done passively but also actively, as you notice now. And then keep that, but just come up onto your fingertips, like spider hands, you could say. Do the same, you're pushing the fingertips down, you're lifting the forearms, the elbows up. And just feel this more active stretch in the shoulders, the chest, the upper back. And if your forehead doesn't touch the mat anymore, that's fine, you don't have to force it out. And then slowly come onto hands and knees. And tuck your toes under. Nice. And then here, keep this pose. Not much muscular effort is required just in the standard version. But now start to pull your hands and your feet towards each other. So again, we're introducing a little bit of tension, which increases the stability and the awareness. The mind tends to pay more attention when there's a little bit of tension built up, so you'll feel that here. Keep pulling your knees towards your hands and your hands towards your knees. And just feel how this automatically switches on your abdominals here. Keep that, just tuck the toes under and lift your knees a little bit off the mat. Just a tiny bit, we don't want to go high. Just above the mat. And just feel this more active version of that tabletop. You still feel abdominals, maybe you feel a little bit more in the front of the hips now that we're lifting. And then we're holding for another 3, 2, let the breath flow slowly. And 1, set the knees back down. And then just lift the right knee, try to keep the hips really stable and do a slow circle with your right leg around that hip joint. Again, lifting up and back, out to the side, towards the right elbow, and back to where we started. Now let's change direction. Forward first. Try not to round your back. Out to the side. Open and lift behind you. One more round. Nice and slow. Make it as smooth as you can. This doesn't have to be a big circle, a big movement, but make it precise and controlled. Set the right knee down, lift the left knee up. Same thing, hip circle, going back first. Squeeze heel to buttocks, open to the sides. Keep weight in both hands as you circle forwards. Lift up and back, don't arch your back. Out to the side and forward. 2 circles in the other direction, go forward first, open and lift behind you. And just feel the only movement is that thigh bone in the hip socket, as best as you can. And then set that down. And now do a few shoulder circles, still in this quadruped position. So lift the shoulders up towards your ears. And then move the shoulders back, so drop the chest. And then press the shoulder blades down the back. And then lift the chest up for shoulder protraction. Again, shoulders up to ears, shoulders back, shoulders down, and shoulder blades slide apart. Let's go the other way now. Press down first, move the shoulder blades together, lift the shoulders to the ears, and push your hands down to lift the chest. One more round, down, back, picture the movement of the shoulder blades, up, and apart. Nice. Slowly release to a few quicker shoulder rolls just to feel how your shoulders are right now. And then sit back on the heels and stretch your arms out to the side. What we'll do is turn the right palm up and turn the left palm down. Visually, I might be doing the opposite, so just figure out what's happening in your body. Lift the right arm up and reach the left arm a little bit down, a little bit behind you. And then bend your both elbows, but see if you can not touch the back of the neck and not touch the lower back. So your hands are hovering away from your body. And then straighten the arms again. Open them wide. Let's swap to the side. So left palm lifts up, right hand turns back. And so this is a more active version of our Gomukhasana arms that we know. Hover the hands, squeeze your bicep to bend the elbows. Open, swap sides again, right arm goes up. Externally rotate the right arm, internally rotate the left arm, and hover, squeeze, try not to push the head forward, try to keep the chest up, and then open the arms and swim to the other side. This is called swimmer arms, I think. And then last one, squeeze and hold, try not to compensate somewhere else in the body, and then release that. Interlace your fingers, place them behind the back of the head. You can just let the elbows close here on the side of the head and then drop chin to chest. And then all we're going to do is push the head up into the resistance of the hands. Try that. Push the head up. The hands are not pushing down, they're just matching the force of the head. Just providing a little bit of challenge to the muscle that we're stretching. So what we're trying to do is we're activating the muscle that is also lengthening. And then slowly release that. Step to the front of your mat. A couple of rounds of sun salutations just to warm up all parts of the body. Place the hands at the heart. Standing tall. Make a wish if you like, set your intention for this practice. And our common intention could be to leave here feeling calm, steady, grounded, confident. But if you have your own intention, feel free to Set that for yourself. Here we go. Inhale, lift the arms, push the feet down and lengthen up. Exhale to forward fold, hinge from the hips. Inhale, lengthen the chest forward, push the hands on your shins. Exhale, step your right foot back, lower the right knee down. One breath, inhale, lift the arms, low lunge. Exhale to down dog, step back. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, slowly lower down onto your belly. Come onto the elbows for Sphinx pose. And then tuck your toes. And we're slowly going to roll up. So lift the rib cage, lift the belly, lift the hips, and lift the knees. And then lower the knees, thighs, hips, belly. Back to Sphinx. Again, chin to chest. Round the upper back, round the middle back, round the lower back. Lift the hips and the knees. And then reverse slowly back down. One more, nice and slow. Feel the movements in the spine. Push the elbows down. And slowly down. Sphinx. Hands next to the chest. Press back to downward facing dog. Inhale in down dog. Exhale, step the right foot forward, the left knee down. Lift your arms, one breath, low lunge. Exhale to step forward, forward fold. Inhale, push the floor away with your feet as you lift the arms high. Exhale, hands to heart. Reset for the second side. Here we go. Inhale. Everything up. Exhale. Follow the breath down. Inhale. Flat back. Strengthen the muscles along the spine. Exhale. The left foot back. Left knee down. Lift your arms. Low lunge pose. Exhale takes you to down dog. Inhale, shift forward, plank. On the exhale, take your time to slowly lower down. Untuck the toes this time, come into Sphinx. So normal Sphinx pose. And then we'll do that roll up, but this time we'll stay on the tops of the feet. So chin to chest. Lift the rib cage, lift the belly, lift the hips, and lift the knees. If it's too much, keep the knees down, no problem. And then reverse, knees, hips, belly, and then chest forward. Two more, like this. Chin to chest, round the upper back, round the middle, round the lower back, lift the hips, and maybe lift the knees. And slowly down, like a spinal roll. Last one. Feel this ripple going through the spine as you lift up slowly and engage your core. And then slowly set it back down. Hands next to the chest. Make your way back to down dog. Inhale here. Exhale the left foot forward, right knee down. Lift your arms. Inhale, one breath. Exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, rise, push your feet down, lengthen up. Exhale, hands back to heart. Second round, here we go, inhale. Exhale, use your belly to pull your upper body forward. You can bend your knees here, no problem. Inhale, chest forward, shoulders down the back. Exhale, right foot back. Let's do right foot first. Keep the right knee lifted and come into high lunge. Push the feet down and pull them towards each other. And then lower your hands. Downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, lower down for Sphinx. Same thing, but we'll change it up slightly. Nice, tuck your toes. This time just hold forearm plank for a moment. And then try to pull your elbows towards your feet. Pull your feet towards your elbows. And feel how this fires up your core. Slowly set it back down, well done. Hands on the shoulders. There's another way to go back. Just stay on the knees through a little child's pose and then down dog if the push up to plank is a little bit too much for you today. Inhale. Exhale the right foot forward. Lift the arms. High lunge. Just for a breath. Exhale to step forward and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, reconnect, hands to heart. Calm and steady, inhale. Can you move from that space? Exhale, forward fold, slow it down if you can. Inhale, flat back, strong back muscles. Exhale, the left foot steps back. And lift your arms for high lunge. One breath here, and then hands down. Come into down dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank pose. Exhale, lower down. Prepare for, you've guessed it, Sphinx. This time, stay on the tops of the feet and lift up into, it's also forearm plank, I guess, but with a variation in the legs. You might feel a little bit more on the quads and the hip flexors. Holding for 3. 2, lengthen the tailbone back. 1, and lower down. Press back. Downward facing dog. Take a slow breath in. On the exhale, step left foot forward for high lunge. Lift your arms. Inhale all the way to the top. Exhale, step forward. Uttanasana. Inhale to rise. Press your feet. Lift your chest. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath. Close your eyes if you like to. And see how quickly you can come back to the calm presence that we are cultivating a little bit more in our practice today. From here, bend your knees. Touch your fingertips down and just lift the arms into chair pose for a moment. And then from here, lower the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, just step into down dog for now. Step your right foot forward. Lower the left knee down. And then slowly come up with the hands to the heart. First, let's do the base, the foundation here. The right foot, push it down. The left knee grounded down, and then pull the two towards each other underneath you. So you get this, a little bit of tension, the inner thighs are squeezing into the midline, and there's a sense of lifting through the pelvic floor and the rest of the core. And then turn your chest to the right, keeping your legs really active. Pull that right hip back energetically, and just turn as much as you can from the strength of your core. You'll feel the muscles in the waist help you with that rotation. And then lean a little bit forward. Can you hover the left elbow over that right knee without touching it for now? And keep all of this. Feel how active your core is. Don't lose that. Place the elbow on the knee and twist a little bit deeper. So the arm shouldn't be doing the core work. We want to enhance the core work and the twist with a little bit of help from the arm. That's a different quality. And then at the same time, push your knee out into that left elbow. slowly release. Tuck the back toes under if you haven't already. Lift the knee, and then really slowly step. You can step a little bit closer for your balance, and bring the left ankle onto the right knee. Start to sit a little bit deeper. Move the hips back. If you have trouble with your balance like I have today, you can always have the left hand down. This will help. And what I like to do here with the right hand is to push that left heel in quite strongly. Sit a little bit lower with the hips and lengthen your chest forward to the front. So you don't want to round your spine excessively here. So just feel that force going to the left hip. It has nowhere else to go. And then lift your left hand off the mat if you had it down. What we're going to try and do is lift just as much as we need to start to hover that left heel or ankle above the right knee. So activate the whole front. The inner thigh is active. You're hovering. 3, 2, 1. Step the left foot back. Either vinyasa, take your own time, or just go back to downward facing dog or even child's pose. All of these are great options. And you can just decide based on how you feel what is the best option for you. Take a breath or two, feel your body. Calm and steady, feel the points of contact with the mat. And then step your left foot forward. Lower the right knee down. Come up with the hands to the heart. First our base, push the left foot down, ground the right knee, and pull the two together energetically. They're not actually moving, but internally you'll feel a sense of stability and connection when you do that. There's also slight moving into the midline, both legs are squeezing in, even though they are apart. So just imagine you've got a block between your thighs, even though one leg is back, one is forward. Keep that. Start to turn your chest to the left. Turn, turn, turn until it stops. Experience that, feel your core engage here. Now lean a little bit forward, hover the right elbow above that left knee. Lots of core work, lots of leg work, keep that. And place the right elbow on the left knee and push the two together. So left knee is pressing out. Right elbow is pressing down and in. And your core is as active as when we did it without the elbow. Take a moment to feel that. And then slowly release. Now, tuck the back toes under, lift the right knee. And then step right ankle over the left knee. When you're here, sit a little bit deeper. Activate that right foot, it's going to protect the other joints, your ankle, your knee, even the hip. Maybe for balance, right hand down. If the right hand doesn't go all the way down, just lift it up onto a block, hold a couch or a chair or a wall nearby, that's all fine. And then with the left hand, press the right heel in. And you can push quite strongly, you feel that force goes into the outer right hip, into the external rotators of the hip. So again, we're lengthening muscles, outer right hip in this case. And we're forcing the muscle to be a little bit more engaged. This is not a passive stretch. I'm sinking the hips down, I'm bending that left knee, and I'm lengthening the chest forward over that right foot. Nice. Here comes our challenge. Start to lift up. And then can you lift up just as much as you need to hover the right ankle above the left knee. Hover, 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 and step the right foot back. Well done. Both feet back. Plank pose. You can go down dog or child's pose if you need a break. Otherwise, a slow vinyasa. Take your time. The opposite of calm and steady is probably rushed and unstable. So, which are often qualities that we express during a busy day or a hectic schedule. So well done for making time for this, for your yoga practice. Lower your knees. We'll just do a little bit of a dynamic practice, and we'll start in a version of side plank. So just turn that left shin a bit to the side of the mat. Push the left hand down and place the right foot at the end of the mat. So they're all more or less in one line, like gate pose. And then lift that right arm and right leg, just for a moment, and slowly step that right foot forward. From here, you're facing forward in this little low lunge. Start to lift the left knee, bring the left knee to your chest. Stand up tall and lift the knee high. And then reverse engineer, step that left foot back. Lower the left knee down really softly, we're just tapping, and then lean forward for warrior 3. Step the left foot back, lower the left knee back into that side plank variation. Step the right foot forward, moving slowly with control. Push that right foot down, lift the left leg as soon as you can. Left knee up to chest. Reverse. Bending the right knee, landing really softly. Touch the left knee down. Warrior 3. Lean forward, lean forward, lean forward. Lift the left leg behind you. Do with your arms whatever you like. And step the left foot down. Nice. Downward facing dog. Child's pose. Vinyasa, if you need to keep moving. I'm going to stay with downward facing dog. A breath or two before we do the second side. Just feel your body right now. And let's go. Lower the knees down. Side plank variation. I'm turning the right shin to the side, left foot is back, left arm up, and when you're ready, lift the left leg as well. And unrushed, left knee to chest. Step it all the way forward. If it doesn't work, help with that left hand, there's no problem. And then from here, little low lunge, lift the back knee and bring the right knee up into standing. Slowly reverse. Imagine you're moving through honey. Touch that right knee down. And now we're leaning forward, forward, forward. Lift the right leg behind you. Straighten it if you can for warrior 3. Rebend. Reversing into our modified side plank. One more time. Left foot forward. Right knee up. Stand up tall. Right knee comes back down. Into the little lunge. And then, like we changed our mind, oops, warrior 3. Straighten the right leg, lengthen the chest forward. Step back. Downward facing dog. Then from downward facing dog, step your right foot forward. I like to place in the middle of the mat and then turn the left heel down so that the heels are more or less in the same line. Come up and bend the front knee generously. Now we'll help with the hands, it's a little bit of a self-assist you could say. With your right hand go inside that right knee and press out slightly. With the left hand I'm holding the inside of the left hip. You'll see it better on the second side, but just find that place for yourself. And what I'm doing is I'm opening the right knee that way. I'm opening the left hip the opposite way. And with the muscles and the inner thighs, I'm resisting slightly into the hands. Feel that. Nice. From here, lower the right hand inside your right foot. If this is not happening, you should take a block and just lift that hand a little bit higher. That's it. If you don't have a block, you can always have the hand inside your knee as well. What we want to do here is press that right triceps and that right inner knee together so that you'll feel automatically that right hip is going to go back just by that activation here. Feel that, and then just lift the left arm up if you like to complete the pose. Keep the pressure between the right knee and the right arm. And then release your hands down. You know the choices: slow vinyasa, or rest for a moment, child's pose, down dog. There's lots of options. Downward facing dog. Good. Step the left foot forward between the hands. Turn the right heel down. And lift up Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. And again, like we've done on the first side, left hand goes inside that left knee. I'm pushing slightly. The knee pushes into the hand as well. Right hand holds the right hip points. And I'm pulling the hands a little bit away. I'm rotating the hips towards opposite sides. Just feel that. And then with the muscles of the inner thighs, resist a bit and press into that activation of the hands. Feel that, keep bending the front knee. And then also notice here, this is a good example of how the hips are never parallel to the long edge of the mat, at least for most people in the general population. The hips are actually at quite an angle if you notice that right now, which is fine. Which is fine, it doesn't deduct anything from the pose. Now, side angle pose, left hand inside left foot, or left hand up on a block. If you don't have any props nearby, press the left forearm inside your knee. It's going to do the same trick. Wherever you are, push the left knee into the left tricep. And once you're there, you can lift the arm, the right arm, and experience the stability of the pose. The more stable the pose is, the more you'll be able to drop into a space of ease. If it's unstable, you won't be very relaxed, you will not let go. The muscles will grip to keep you from falling over. They will not allow you to get in very much. Nice, from here, just lift up, come into goddess pose, turning the toes a little bit out, the heels a little bit in, bend your knees and sink the hips down. Nice. Now from here, place your forearms inside the knees, so not on top of your thighs, but roll them to the inside, and then push the forearms out. You should feel quite a stretch in the inner thighs. And then with your knees, press into your forearms quite strongly. Like you're trying to close the legs against that resistance. Keep the spine long, lengthening forward. Keep squeezing the knees in. Release that. Bring the hands to the outside of your knees. You're going to lift up a little bit higher probably for this one. And then press your outer knees out into the hands. So this is the opposite motion. Now you feel the outer hip muscles will activate. And your inner thighs will get a little bit more of a stretch. Nice. And then just slide your hands down to the ankles and your elbows will be inside the knees. And then bend your knees a little bit more to sink into this kind of like a frog pose with standing. Keep squeezing the knees into your elbows. And then slowly straighten the legs. Turn the heels so that the feet become parallel to each other and to the short edge of the mat. And then just fold in for a moment. It doesn't matter where you end up. It doesn't matter how low your head goes. Just a moment to soften down. Nice getting hamstrings to get into inner thighs. And also nice to do a pose without those extra activations. They tend to make things a little bit more challenging and serious sometimes. So sometimes we just need a little stretch to soften down. Just like now. Okay, that's enough for the softening down. Get ready to lower your knees for everybody's favorite pose, the frog. So move your knees away from each other, but not so much that there's little tears forming in your eyes. That would be too much. Have your shins parallel to each other and flex your feet. So the insides of your feet are on the floor or on the mat. And then come onto your elbows, if that is available. And then squeeze your knees into the mat. Again, as if you're trying to slide the knees together. Because your knees are stuck on the mat, they're not going anywhere. But you'll feel the inner thighs start to activate, I'm sure. Keep squeezing in, keep squeezing in. And I'll turn it around, squeeze the knees outwards so they slide away from each other. Feel the outer hips activate and the inner thighs lengthen. Just like we've done standing, but now with a different relation to gravity. And we'll do one more activation, which is just to lift the feet up off the mat a little bit without moving the hips forward or back, without arching the back. Try to just hover your feet. They don't have to go high. They might not even lift, but just that energetic activation is going to be really helpful. And then slowly release. And then come into 90-90 position. So I'm bringing the right shin parallel to the short edge of the mat. I'm bringing the left shin parallel to the long edge of the mat. And you should have like more or less a square shape inside that right thigh. Nice. Now here, what we're doing is, in the first stage, press that right knee down quite strongly. So ground that whole right leg onto the mat as best as you can. And feel that that force is coming from the right outer hip. And then lengthen the spine. You're facing forward over that right knee or shin. And then lift the hands to the heart. If it's too much, you might need to keep the hands down. That's okay. Lift the hands to the heart if you can. And lean a little bit forward. Now we're not trying to go all the way down. We're trying to keep pressing that right knee down and lengthening the chest forward, forward, forward as best as we can. Push the right knee into the mat. 3, 2, 1, and use the hands to come back up. Right. Well done. Now the next little exercise, we're going to lean to the right a little bit, as much as you need to. You might even need to come onto your right elbow, that's fine. And all we're going to do, it sounds simple when I explain it, until you try it for yourself. We're going to push the right knee down and lift the right foot, trying to lift the whole lower leg off the mat for 3, 2, 1, and set it down. Wow, barely anything happened in terms of movement, but this is really good for the control over the muscles in the hip region. Nice. Now bring hands to the heart. Turn over your left thigh this time and lean your right shoulder a little bit over to the right. Keep that and start to lift the left lower leg, the left foot, lift everything up. So we're increasing internal rotation in that left hip. 3, 2, 1, and slowly set it down. Well done. Place your hands behind you and then just do a couple of windscreen wiper motions with the legs over to the first side and the second side. Take your time. And just feel that full range of motion of the hips in the hip sockets. And then next time you go to the left, stay there, and you should be more or less in the right position. You can make little adjustments. Left shin parallel to the front edge of the mat. Right shin parallel to the long edge of the mat. Spine nice and long. Left leg, the outer leg is pushing down, especially the knee. Keep the foot slightly active as well. So we're building up a little bit of tension again in the system to get the attention of our brain. And I don't mean our thinking mind, our rational mind, I mean the stuff that happens subconsciously that we otherwise don't have a lot of access to. And then if it's available, lift the hands to the chest and lengthen a little bit forward. Don't go to your maximum, but just start to feel, okay, this is a good place to be. I'm pushing the left knee down. That left leg is super strong and stable. And I can lengthen the chest over that left knee. 3, 2, 1. Lower the hands down just to help yourself back up. Now remember the other one, your new favorite. I like to lower the elbow down. It just makes things a lot easier, believe me. I'm going to push that left knee down, and all we're going to do is lift that left foot a little bit. Lift, lift, lift. Lift, 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 and feel that leg turn externally in that hip socket. So let the activation come from the outer hip on the left. 3, 2, 1. Oh wow, I think I just discovered a new favorite exercise to do every morning. No, I think that would definitely benefit you. But I can agree, sometimes while we're doing it, it's not exactly pleasant. Hold opposite shoulders, turn your chest over to the right leg, lean your left shoulder towards your left knee a bit, and then lean just as much as you need to lift the right lower leg. If you're cramping in any of these, you're not alone. And that's actually a really good sign, because your muscles are relearning stuff, their functions that they may have forgotten a while ago. And then slowly lift back up, a couple of windscreen wipers, just to cement this into our system. Nice, then come to the middle, bring your right heel towards your left buttock, and bring the left knee on top of the right. If this is hard, what I like to do sometimes to come in is to lift up onto the knees, stack the knees on top of each other and sit down. But if this knee is a little bit higher or you need to modify in any way, then please don't worry about little things like that. In any case, we'll be lifting that knee up in a moment. So with your right arm, go under that left knee and lift it up a little bit. Now what I like to do is the right hand, I like to hold my left upper arm, and it just reduces the effort you have to put into this. So I'm lifting up that left knee, but with the left knee I'm also pushing down on the resistance of that right forearm. So try that, push down from your hip onto the right forearm. And at the same time, when you lengthen the spine forward and up. Don't think you have to go all the way down. In fact, you'll feel more if you stay a little bit higher up. And if you increase the pressure of that left knee down onto your right arm. Press a little bit harder for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. And let's swap sides. Left heel to right buttock. Right knee on top of left. If it's hard, push a little bit forward, get the knees a little bit closer and sit down. But if your knees are not close at all, if it looks more like this, then that's also fine. You're going to get the same benefits, and this might actually be exactly the stretch that you need for those tight outer hips. Left elbow, cradle it under that right knee. With the right hand just ground it down, and then you can hold your right upper arm with your left hand. And I'm lifting that right knee with the left arm quite a bit. We're not trying to be as low as possible. And I start to activate more, start to push that right knee down into your left forearm. Press it down, press it down, press it down. Feel that right outer hip activate while it's getting lengthened. This is the focus, or physical focus of today. Lengthening muscles that are active. And then one last point, lengthen the spine, so even the lower back. Stick the tailbone of the back, lengthen your chest forward, just feel how that changes the whole pose. And then slowly release. Now come to lie on your back. Place the right ankle on the left knee, and then come into figure 4 stretch or supine pigeon, holding the left leg somewhere with your left hands. Lie back. First part of the pose, we'll do it actively, and then we'll hold a bit longer without the activation. So first, start to make the legs a little bit more active, pulling the legs towards you, and then see if you can release the hands for a moment, trying to hold that shape. Now notice where the right leg is, try to make it way more active. Activate that right inner thigh. You're going to need it in a moment. And then we're going to keep the right leg here as best as we can as we start to straighten the left leg out. So you're losing the support of that left leg. Keep the right leg in a sort of pigeon as best as you can. And hold here. Pull that right foot towards your left shoulder. Press that right knee away from you, away from the right shoulder. And hold 3, 2, 1, bring the knee back, the left knee to support your right ankle, and then just gently pull in with the hands. And now you can make it a more passive pose. I'm feeling very lenient towards the end of this class. No, I probably need a gentle stretch myself after all that calming, steadying work. Just drop in, doing minimal effort to stay in the pose. and allowing that right outer hip to release. And then slowly come up. Place the right foot down. Place the left ankle on the right knee. Thread the left arm through the legs, hold the right thigh or shin, and lie back for a moment. So here we're just exploring how the hip's feeling. What kind of space do you have to work with? And then start to make the legs more active, pulling them towards you, but from a muscular activity, not from the hands. And then release the hands. Try to keep the legs as compact, as close as possible. Now activate the tissues on the inside of that left thigh, and then also the external rotators of your left hip. Try to keep the left leg as best as possible as you start to remove the support of that right leg, and you're feeling some resistance, obviously, because now it's much harder. The stretch is also not so much, but you are teaching your nervous system to gain more control. So in a sort of supine pigeon pose, lift the right foot, the left foot towards your right shoulder, and the left knee away from your left shoulder. 3, 2, 1. Bring the right knee back to support that left ankle, and hook your arms around and relax. Relax the feet, relax the shoulders, soften the left outer hip, and take a few slower breaths. And then gently release and extend your legs long for Shavasana. Take a moment to wiggle around to get really comfortable. Find the best position to relax your body completely. This is the ultimate calm and steady pose. That's why we do it last, because we need a little bit of practice to get to this space. And feel there's no more effort required. You can completely surrender in this moment. You don't need to balance, you don't need to stretch, you don't need to use any muscular effort. And just spread out on your mat like a puddle of water. With every exhale, can you get more and more relaxed? And start to take a few deeper breaths. If you have a little bit longer to stay in your Shavasana, then please, by all means, add another 5-10 minutes, which will make a huge difference. If it's time for you to go, then move your hands and move your feet. Start to bend your knees and roll over onto your side. And then just make your way up into sitting. Take a moment to feel your body resting here. Connection with the ground. Effortless rising and openness of your upper body in space. The calm flow of the breath. And especially the calm space in the mind. The feeling that the mind doesn't have to get involved, doesn't have to try and control everything. If the practice can support us in this calm steadiness, then the mind can step back. Then bring your palms together, touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart, and bow to yourself on the mat. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Take good care and see you soon.